2010 saw the biggest shake-up in Formula One in decades, with 4 new teams, all embroiled in financial issues, scandal, and general corruption. So today on the OffGrid Podcast, we're going to take a look at 2010, the year I most fondly remember Formula One, and we're going to look at some of the shitter points of that season.
Hey, come on! Move!
So welcome back to our proper look at 2010 and all of the new teams and all of the carnage that happened after that, in which all of the bargain basement, bargain bucket, KFC, working out the back of a van teams arrive with the big leagues parked next to Ferrari, and all of a sudden everyone thinks that they're going to do great, and investors are trying to come onto it, and it's all a massive shit show. So we'll go through these in some sort of order of a team-based analysis of each one.
This is just the F1 Ponzi scheme. Is what it is.
It is, yeah.
It's an F1 Ponzi scheme.
It's F1 multi-level marketing.
Yes, it is.
It's genius.
It's a pyramid scheme.
You got
Who's
Bernie
that
at the
chap
top
from Peterborough that you mentioned?
Who's
James? What's his name?
Who?
The one, the businessman. The one, the businessman that makes the reels.
Oh, he's not from Peterborough, is he?
Yeah,
oh, he is from Peterborough. Yes,
yeah.
His name is Joseph Volante.
Joseph Volante. Yeah.
Come and join my class.
Yes.
Come and do my course, and I'll teach you how to start a Formula One team. And then you just get paid for referring people constantly. Yeah. It's like Shakeology. It's like it's like fitness shakes. That's
not
always
like
a big
Saudi
one.
shakes.
No, not that. No, Shakeology is Tom Cruise and some shakes doing Scientology. That's something slightly different. That's what Scientology calls itself in Saudi Arabia. Shakeology. Anyway, fuck's sake. So we're going to have a look at Lotus F1 / Lotus Racing / Caterham / fuck no / AirAsia, God alone knows. Lotus obviously had a pretty successful F1 career previously. Black and gold.
Colin
Chapman. Well, green and yellow, black and gold.
Jim Clark, does he race?
Jim Clark, Graham Hill, all there, all really, really. This team, not so much.
No.
It didn't really have anything apart from the name. They collapsed. Original Lotus collapsed in 1994.
The actual company, or
original Lotus Racing, old school Lotus Racing collapsed in 1994, and all of their stuff was sold off, including the name. And the naming rights were bought by James Hunt's brother.
Really?
Yes, David Hunt.
David Hunt.
Which I'd forgotten about. I've forgotten about that one.
That is the name of an accountant, isn't it?
Exactly.
David Hunt.
So the wannabe F1 team purchased the name and ran it as Lotus F1.
Isn't it a shame they didn't run it like Hesketh?
Well, yeah, there is that. Well, they basically did on a shoestring, but without the the genius element.
Beaky wasn't there.
Beaky and Bunty and all the rest of them weren't there. So they ran that as Lotus F1. However, they bought the rights to the name Team Lotus. So they bought Team Lotus, a name, and then went, let's call it Lotus F1. Didn't go down well.
No.
So Lotus ended up with a lot of legal problems about the name. They were arguably the most professional and well-funded of the 2010 newcomers, technically led by Mike Gascoigne, and quite frankly, if your name is Gascoigne, you can only be a footballer. He's been all over, Mike Gascoigne, Mike Gazza, if you will. Gazza has been all over McLaren, Sauber, Tyrrell, Jordan and Renault. They famously had to build their operation in 6 months, a feat Gaza described as a miracle. Despite the rush, they arrived in Bahrain for the season opener with a credible, if conservative, car and a veteran driver lineup in Jarno Trulli and Heikki Kovalainen, establishing themselves early on as the class of the new teams. All fairly good. On the track, Lotus Racing achieved its primary goal of finishing 10th in the Constructors' Championship in both 2010 and 2011, which crucially qualified them for the significant Bernie money. Not prize money, it's Bernie money.
Bernie money.
The Bernie money was eventually stifled by the ballooning costs of the era and the exhaustive legal battle over that Lotus name, which eventually forced a rebrand to Caterham in 2012.
That went well.
After Malaysian Richard Branson acquired Caterham, Proton Cars. This, you can see why this gave me a headache.
Yeah.
Proton Cars owned the name to Lotus. They agreed to give them the Lotus name to begin with.
Yeah.
And then decided that they didn't want it and they wanted the name back and called it flagrant and persistent breaches of the license by the team.
Christ.
I know. Their best result in 2010 was a staggering 12th.
Nice.
Well, I know. So if that's the best of the newcomers, then this is going to be a very, very long video.
You can see how this is about to go.
While occasionally they flirted with the midfield, peaking in 2012, they closed the gap to the established teams. They were never able to score a single point in their 94 race history. By 2014, the financial burden became unsustainable, leading to a desperate fan-led crowdfunding campaign just to compete in the final race before the team collapsed. Who the fuck was giving money to that?
A community-run pub.
Exactly.
Is what they are, aren't they?
No, Jeff, you're doing Thursday as landlord. And
Jeff, you're doing Thursday as the back right tyre.
Yeah.
And the drive shaft. But Mavis, you're doing the steering wheel on Monday, right?
So it's a pub that's trying to sell cake at the same time, isn't it?
Literally.
Or it's a pub, which I see a lot of now, a pub that opens itself up as a place to go and work. When you're working from home, you can
£10
go and
get free coffee for the day.
Exactly. I think their main problem is they were based in Norfolk.
Yes, which if you aren't from England is the worst place in the world to get to.
It's very difficult to get to, and it's not exactly a county of talent, really, is it?
No, it's not really. There's a lot of web fingers.
Exactly, yeah. Would you like to see a look at their facility as it was a couple of years later in 2018?
Wait, so what year is he doing this in?
This is in 2018.
So it's only 2 years after, and it's still left like this.
So it's 4 years after they basically died.
They said that the headquarters shut down properly in 2016.
Yeah. So they limped on as doing something or other, but now you just look at that.
Isn't that the saddest sight you have ever seen?
All it's just had is pikeys ripping through it.
All the copper wire is gone.
Copper out the wall.
What it is.
They've absolutely trashed the place. And this guy, the bearded explorer, found carbon moulds and drawings and all the rest of it.
I bet he nicked that as well.
Well, do you know they auctioned off all of their stuff?
Do you know why I do know that they did that? Because you tried to flog me a Caterham boot bag.
Boot bag. I don't even know why you'd have a Caterham boot bag.
I thought they're pretty cool.
They are cool.
It was green and gold.
I had messenger, but I made a fortune on
you just saw it on eBay, didn't you?
It all went on eBay. Made it certainly earned its money.
Why did you end up with all that shit?
Because it was just up in an auction.
Really?
Yeah, because when they went into liquidation, all of the things were auctioned off. Cars, moulds, team gear, wheels,
team principal,
everything. Team principal, Mike Gascoigne, Paul Gascoigne. No, Mike.
Paul Gascoigne's a footballer.
Mike Gascoigne, yeah. So Paul Gascoigne was also in there in a charity auction because he was pissed and someone wanted to take him off his hat. Please take Gazza off my fucking hands. Look, they say, we can't deal with him anymore. And they go, well, I don't see why you do that. What, do you not remember? Do you not remember when he tried to talk Raoul Moat down and say, let's go for a pint?
That's such a niche reference.
So, I know it is such a... So we're dealing with... This is post-Moat, isn't it? This is post...
the memory in my head. One Gascoigne trying to talk around. There's this weird crossovers in life.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I mean, it
you
really...
mentioned Justin Bieber earlier when he was interviewed about going to Anne Frank's house. And he goes, Anne Frank... I bet she'd be a believer.
A believer. Oh my God. I bet she'd be a believer.
I don't know why that thought come into my head.
But it's the this
crossover, isn't it?
So the dissolve. What year was Raoul Moat? Was that 2010 or 2012?
It's around that neck of the woods.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
So this is post-Moat.
Post-Moat.
We're currently living in a post-Moat world.
So unlike whipping my hair back and forth era, that's one milestone.
Yeah, and then the other one is post-Moat is the other one. Raoul Moat. So Gazza has been auctioned off in the Lotus F1, primarily because no one can deal with him because he genuinely thought that he could talk Raoul Moat out of his killing spree. And for anyone who's not from the UK, this bloke decided to shoot his wife and his mother-in-law.
Went on a massive...
And then went on a rampage, shot a police officer, and then hid out in the woods with a gun with his sawn-off shotgun to his throat. And of all people, Gazza went... I reckon I can sort this. A footballer from the 1990s who was just sort of there at this point.
I don't think he knew what was going on, though.
I don't think he did. No. I think he was pissed.
I think he thought it was a fan.
I'm going to go back to a piece of... So we're dealing in the post-Moat world.
So the season's a pre-Moat world. Fuck's sake.
So that ended well, and Lotus didn't go that well. But I was very happy driving for Lotus F1 when I did an F1 2010, which was my first F1
Was
game.
it?
Yeah, it was brilliant. And the brilliant thing is it didn't really have it for a couple of years after that, but it sort of went as you were a human being, you were a driver standing there, and you could like choose to go into the garage and you went in there, or you could go into your trailer and in there would be a very bitchy agent woman who would hand you a contract and saying you're doing really fucking shit.
Yeah,
she was fucking brilliant. She was quite hot too for like a Lara Croft looking motherfucker.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Which when you're 12 years old, fantastic.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's Lotus done, or Team Lotus, or Lotus F1, or in fact Caterham. I'm still not sure.
Richard Branson's team.
Richard Branson's team. No, not Richard Branson's team. Richard Branson's team. Asian Richard Branson's team. So you will get this. There are a lot of name changes. So let's go and do another team.
Yeah.
HRT or Hispania something or other. Hang on, that might be
HRT.
Hispania.
What did HRT stand for?
Racing, Hispania Racing Team. So HRT was originally let in under the name Campos Racing. But within about 30 minutes, that had fallen apart and Campos realised that they hadn't got any money.
Right.
So then they partnered up and created a company called Campos Meta, which then realised they hadn't got any money. So that got into financial issues before they'd even started. And this is not a theme of this video at all.
No.
And then a whole team got sold to a man with the name of a South American dictator, Jose Ramon Garabante.
That is a fantastic name,
It's a Far Cry name, really. It's a Far Cry antagonist name.
Reminds me of the villain from Quantum of Solace. You know, the Bolivian dictator.
The Bolivian dictator, yeah. My name is Jose Ramon Garabante. And he had a thing for molesting people,
yes,
didn't he? He was a rapist. So Campos were rumoured to have a second crack at F1 in 2021. This appeared, who were supposedly in advanced negotiation with Spanish investors. My question to you is, what does advanced negotiations with the Spanish look like?
Waking up.
Is that just sort of, do you think the boardroom is just made of plastic chairs?
It's plastic chairs and then just tapas plates everywhere.
Tapas plates, plastic chairs,
a dead cow on the floor.
Snooze break.
Yeah.
So we do 5 minutes of discussion.
Lots of Australia.
Where are we going to get the tires from? Okay, Pirelli are signed on
Bridgestone. Oh.
the Bridgestone. Anyway, so they were in very yawny talks with Pirelli and Jack Aitken.
Really?
Yes. Who obviously has, I don't even know what he's done since. I think he's still in Formula 2.
Williams for a while?
He's just not getting out.
He's stuck in.
Talk about a glass ceiling. Jack Aitken is at a glass ceiling.
Yes.
So El Presidente Jose Ramon Garabante took control of the entire team after Campos and everything dissolved, and entered the team as Hispania Racing because he had something called like Hispania Investment Group. It was the first Spanish team to race in Formula 1. A previous effort was known as Bravo F1.
That's just someone saying he's done a good job.
Well done, the sport.
Yes,
Bravo F1. Bravo F1 failed to enter the sport in 1993. The Bravo car was supposed to be an improved version of the Andrea Moda S921. Now, I know a lot about Andrea Moda, and I think we should do an episode on it. Could you think of a worse place to start? Pinching the car from a team that did 10 races, never scored a point, and often didn't finish.
Yes.
It's the definition of trying to polish a turd. But I mean, Andrea Moda was a shoe salesman, he looked at Benetton and went, he looked at Benetton and went, I've got a fucking great idea, and then basically just called his team that. But fuck me, it was a good looking car, isn't it?
Car.
That looks the tits.
I actually think I remember that car. That was a great looking car.
You'll have seen it somewhere or other, but I mean, fuck me, it looks great.
That is a cracking looking car. It's just a blackboard with some sponsors on it.
It is a blackboard with some sponsors, but it just looks mean. It looks lean and mean with some really, really 90s looking stickers on it.
The LS, that looks cool.
It looks fucking cool.
What sort of clothes does LS make?
I don't know. It's like Lady Garments?
Is it Lady Garments?
I think it's Lady Garments. On 5th of February 2010, Campos boss Adrian Campos told BBC
now.
Sport... Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he died. That the team...
Of course he is dead.
that the team was struggling to find funding. It was paying £7 million to Dallara, who were building the car, stating that sometimes we have the money, sometimes we don't.
Sometimes they may be good, sometimes they may be shit.
Sometimes it may be good, or sometimes it may be shit. So, more Spanish response you couldn't come across.
He just said, we don't have the money.
Sometimes we have the money, sometimes we don't have the money. They announced their second driver, your mate Karun Chandok, 10 days before the first race, and Bruno Senna was signed on as their other driver. They had missed testing and went straight to Bahrain, and their first laps in the car ever were in free practice.
Really?
Yep.
Christ. Do you know what's maybe sad about that as well?
What?
Is that, go back to the other one with the picture of the car.
Oh, yeah.
They've gone from that to the 2010 car, so all those nice sponsorship names on the side, to Karun.
Oh yeah, exactly. They just had his name, and then they had Bruno on the side. I thought they were doing an advert. I thought they were doing an advert for the film. Well, you go, what? Senna's son? Is he? What? He's flopping his cock around, pretending to be a gay Austrian.
He's got a Gaby on the back.
This is my Gaby. One of the best scenes, and I didn't really like Bruno as a film, but that scene where they take him on Jerry Springer, they say he's my Gaby. What's it? I'm going to give him a traditional African name. What? OJ. OJ. Fucking inspired. What the fuck happened to you, Sacha Baron Cohen?
It must have been
Bruno. I never even saw Bruno 2. He just became woke nonsense. Anyway, so they'd missed testing and went straight to Bahrain as their first race. Despite both cars starting from the pit lane, they went on to achieve a staggering fourth and fifth. No, they didn't.
No,
not at all.
Not at all.
Karun Chandok crashed on the second lap, and Senna retired with an overheating engine a third of the way in. Chandok achieved the highest place of 14th for the team in the season before being replaced by Sakon Yamamoto. Sakon Yamamoto-san. By the end of their last season in 2012, their best result was Vitantonio Liuzzi. I had to write that down. Vitantonio Liuzzi's 13th place in Turkey.
Wow. So they were a Spanish team with an Indian driver, a Brazilian driver, a Japanese driver.
Yep.
Wow.
Recipe for Spanish team ran by a dictator.
With no money.
But
might have some money.
But might sometimes maybe good or sometimes maybe shit. With Bruno Senna's nephew.
No, Ayrton Senna's nephew.
Oh, sorry, Ayrton Senna's nephew.
Who was also advertising a gay film.
Who was advertising a gay film with an Indian driver, a Japanese driver.
Yes.
And they had no money.
Yes.
Or sometimes money.
Sometimes.
Shit. And of course, in November, as is the theme with a lot of these, in November 2012, the owners of HRT F1 announced that they were putting the team up for sale.
Did they really?
Yes. So they did that at the start of November, the 3rd of November. They needed to find a buyer by the 30th of November, the date of which the entry fees for 2013 were due to be paid, or else face closure and departure from the sport. HRT failed to find a buyer. Would you believe?
Shock, yeah.
With your Japanese, with your Ayrton Senna's nephew, and your Indian driver with Karun on the side. Oh, fuck, we've got no sponsors. Slap their name on the side of it. Bollocks to it. Despite bids to purchase and revive the team under a new name, their assets were eventually sold to Theo Martin, owner of a firm specialising in recycling automotive parts. That's sad, isn't it?
Very sad.
That's sad. What happened to your team?
I got made into a mug.
What happened to your team? Well, you know the council tip? I had to go and shove my car in it. So that's HRT all done and dusted. So we can now move on to the other team that never made it. Another team that joined the 2010 season was the rather imaginatively named USF1.
That just sums up American imagination.
It does, yeah. What are we going to call it? We're going to call it USF1. How is we going to know we're an American team? Why not call it like Eagle F1 or Stars
Freedom
and Bars
F1.
Oh no, Stars and Bars, that's the racist flag, isn't it? That's the Confederate flag. Stars and Stripes F1. Stripes F1. Now that just makes them think that they've shat yourself.
Yeah.
You have some stripes. Shelby striping in your race suit. So the story of a team that arrived with a bang.
Naturally, being American.
Stayed for the press conferences and then quietly left before anything even started. In early 2009, American engineer Ken Anderson, who I thought he did Thunderbirds, but apparently not. And British journalist Peter Windsor appeared on Speed TV in the US to announce the first American F1 team since 1986. They weren't just going to race, they were going to revolutionize the sport with a spare NASCAR garage in Charlotte, North Carolina. Genuinely what they said.
Really?
Yeah. They had Ferrari on the hook to give them engines to start off with.
They're just a future Haas.
Basically,
is what they are, aren't they?
They had investment from Chad Hurley, co-founder of YouTube, as a primary investor, and the PR
was it
from it. We can still find it all on YouTube. It's all there.
Yeah.
So they were releasing all of their stuff on YouTube, obviously, because Chad Hurley was a man.
They were a bit early
Chad
to the
Hurley.
trend. They
were. Anyway, so as the 2010 season approached, reports emerged that the factory was half empty, becoming a theme.
Yeah.
While other teams were testing in Spain, USF1 employees were apparently so bored they started building toasters to pass the time. Yep. They signed Jose Maria Lopez, who brought $8 million in Argentine government backing. Now, this is they've done it multiple times, and they're actually still doing it with Franco Colapinto.
Yeah.
Why the fuck are governments giving drivers money? How does that? How does Franco Colapinto crashing in a shit French car
Do you know what? I would
benefit the Argentine government?
I'd rather Keir Starmer did that than pay for hotels.
What, for asylum seekers?
Yeah, exactly.
Stop boats.
Yeah.
But I think, I'd rather,
Do you know what I mean?
I mean, what? Like giving Lewis Hamilton some money? Well, you have to pick
more.
We don't need it. We don't need it because we are for F1, Motorsport
Maybe
Valley,
it's
all
just
of it.
A bit of money laundering going on.
I think it might be money laundering, yeah.
They had some left over from the ex-Nazis that were there.
Yeah.
So,
maybe, actually, they give backing to get a driver really high up in like the Grand Prix Drivers Association so they can argue for a Falklands Grand Prix.
They could do.
Then all of the Argentinian fans arrive on the Falklands Grand Prix.
Yeah.
And then they just don't leave.
Really?
I think that's
try
actually
and claim
good.
it as theirs.
I think that's not bad. That's literally just come to me, and I think I may have cracked it. Why the Argentine government? They get a Falklands Grand Prix.
Yeah.
You know, you have Penguin Corner.
You could have a Vulcan flyby to start it off.
Vulcan flyby, yep, exactly. Mind the big hole in the middle of the start-finish straight. Port Stanley start-finish straight.
Yeah.
Then, because Franco Colapinto's there, all of the Argentinian fans legitimately can come over and they just don't leave. You heard it here first, folks.
It's going to catch on.
You heard it here, folks. Heard it here, folks. You heard it here first, folks. In February 2010, the FIA sent a technical delegate, Charlie Whiting, to Charlotte to see the car, in which he found one carbon fibre tub and an empty factory.
There really are themes in these, aren't there?
So they basically went, yeah, great idea. Chad Hurley says, yeah. And they went, do you know how to do that? No idea. We've got a spare garage from NASCAR and that's about it. And then, all of a sudden, with this going back to the FIA and then going, they've done fuck all.
There's nothing going on.
Nothing going on.
Making toasters.
All of a sudden, a Serbian businessman, a Serbian team who were running in like just hobby formula, led by Zoran Stefanovic,
that's a cracking
great name, called with Stefan Grand Prix, actually had a car. They had the 2010 Toyota chassis that they were going to run had they not left F1.
Yeah.
And they were begging for a merger with USF1 to create a US-Serbian F1 team. It just gets worse.
That's better.
It gets worse. We've got Malaysians in Norfolk, we've got Russians in Sheffield, and now we'll be having Serbians in North Carolina. This is, fuck Christ. Despite having no car, Anderson and Windsor reportedly blocked the merger to protect the American dream, despite the fact they're both English.
Yes.
Stefan Grand Prix responded with an amazing rant in broken English, accusing them of sabotage. Wait for this shit. The fledgling Stefan Grand Prix posted this extraordinary message on its website, which has now been long gone, but I managed to find some of it. Archives. The full post reads as follows. Stefan Grand Prix, am I going to do this in a...
Stefan Grand Prix would like to inform the public
voice?
that the containers we sent on the... Oh, you do it.
Stefan Grand Prix would like to inform the public that the containers were sent on the beginning of February, arrived in Bahrain. In the corner of the page, you will see official check from DHL and the confirmation that freight arrived. During next week, we will show our Stefan Formula 1 car to the press as final evidence that should put us on the grid in Bahrain. If case case we do not receive the chance to compete in Bahrain, and also when some of the teams fail to show up, somebody should be in trouble explaining what is happening to all of us.
Yes.
And I understand 40% of that. They're clearly written like this.
Yes, it is.
Just angry.
I bet he has massive fingers as well.
I bet. It's funny you should mention that because that's him.
Oh, right, yeah.
And doesn't he look? Is it racist to say that he looks very Serbian?
He looks very Serbian.
He looks like the guy who
Trump fan.
True. I don't think that's a MAGA cap. So he's an interesting character. He looks like the typical Putin. What was the name of the guy who ran the Wagner group? He looks a bit like him. Really.
He's dead now, isn't he?
He died in a plane crash. I mean, I don't know anything about Serbia, but I had a look at his business to see how he earned his money.
I bet he's got a gorgeous wife.
Oh God, she'll be
100%.
10-10. Margot Robbie with basketball tits.
I bet he's in there with the mafia as well.
Oh, big time.
He don't mess with the Zoran.
So this is supposedly his business, AMCO, okay? They claim to work with the Bundeswehr, I love saying that word, the Bundeswehr, the German Federal Defence, on flight drones. The German Defence Department said they have no record of AMCO technology in any of their products. Then he also claimed it to have contributed to components to the Ariane rocket for the European Space Agency. Major manufacturers like Rheinmetall denied any knowledge of AMCO as a supplier of their bits.
It's a bit of a theme.
I think he might be a high-quality bullshit artist.
It's another Ponzi scheme.
Another Ponzi scheme. All of these teams are just money laundering operations. And Bernie's like, So, what? Sorry, what? But it's like that Dave Chappelle sketch, when he does, he's pretending to be George Bush. He's Black Bush. No, have you never seen that? Oh, it's great. And he's just sitting there with all of his colleagues. He's basically his posse. It's such a bad term for it, but that's all I can think of. Standing there, and they're saying, so what do you say? What do you say to the idea that you're just invading Iraq for the oil? He goes, oil. Oh, this is Dave Chappelle. Oil. Bitch, you. Who said anything about oil? Bitch, you cooking? Anyway, I don't know nothing about it. And then they all just scatter and he knocks the water over and run out. I can imagine it burning. What do you say that Stefan Grand Prix may be money laundering? Money laundering? I don't know about that. I go, shit, running off. Then again, he also claimed to be a high-tech designer and manufacturer of advanced car parts and individual components. It has no commercial vehicle experience. It also claimed to be a strategic partner in regional defence technology, whatever the fuck that means. And Serbian export agencies confirmed AMCO's existence but could not verify any work with them.
What this chap basically is he is a graduate lying on his CV to become a CEO, isn't he?
I've got a brilliant idea.
Shit.
Have you ever heard of this thing called a website?
Yeah.
I'm going to design a website and then go and earn some money. That's not how it works. So Stefan Grand Prix, understandably, didn't go anywhere. So they go back to USF1, and as you can guess, it all ended in tears.
Shock.
On March the 2nd, 2010, before anything ever happened.
This is pre-moat.
They gave this is pre-moat. Pre-moat.
But post, whip your hair back.
Post, whip your hair back and forth. But
we're in that vacuum era.
They were
weird shit going on.
The team was brought before the World Motorsport Council. Yeah. Can you imagine like a big, I'm thinking United Nations
I'm thinking more
shed.
Spectre.
Oh yeah, that works.
More Spectre type shit.
Just Bernie Ecclestone with a cloak over him like that. No one can see.
Great, how good.
And they were fined £309,000 and banned for life.
Oh my word.
Not that they ever tried to get in, really. They were banned from life from the sport for bringing the FIA into disrepute.
How can you ban someone from the sport that they weren't actually in?
Well, I'm saying, how can you bring the FIA into disrepute? They're fucked from the beginning.
Exactly.
The FIA have been fucked for years. Yes. And now with Mohammed Ben Sulayem there, they're even worse. Peter Windsor later reflected on the disaster with a quote that has become an epitaph for the USF1 project. A little bit of humiliation is always good for the soul. And Peter Windsor then subsequently went on to do the most humiliating and low-rent job you could possibly do.
Which was?
Podcasting. It's a podcast. He has a YouTube. Anyway, we'll come on to the final team now.
Right.
Who knew that when the Russians and people from Sheffield get together, they actually do quite well?
It's harmonious.
It's a harmonious existence.
It's industrial.
They both like steel.
They do like steel.
They love vodka. or drinking.
Yeah.
They love heavy drinking.
Heavy drinking.
Do they have a particular? Do the Sheffieldians have a particular penchant for doing a Slavic squat?
I bet they do.
Possibly.
What goes on in Sheffield?
No,
these days?
I tell you exactly what they do. I tell you exactly where that. So the Slavic squat is obviously them sitting on their knees, rolly vodka.
Yeah.
And in Sheffield, the Slavic squat is women in skirts that short taking a piss in the street, possibly even a dump.
Depends on how the night has gone.
Depends on how the night's gone, how they hitch themselves up like that. So they don't both do this. There's a lot of crossover between Sheffield and Russia.
But the difference is the women in Russia are nice and slim.
That's true.
The ones
Sheffield,
in Sheffield, the rolls go over the back of the skirt, don't they?
You can't tell if they're pissing.
I know if it's a piss, a poo, or a baby coming out. Oh, fuck, another one.
You don't really get that in Siberia, in northern Siberia,
anywhere else apart from
Sheffield. I mean, maybe Newcastle. I can see that happening in Newcastle.
Yeah, Liverpool. Just not outside the UK.
So we're saying that in Russia they do the Slavic squat, and in Sheffield they do the Slavic squat, maybe for a pee or to give birth. or to shit out a future Love Island cast member.
Yeah, boohoo model.
So yes, right. Christ.
Back to Manor F1.
Back to Manor F1/MRT/Marussia and all its other names.
Yeah.
Manor entered F1 in 2010 after being shat out by a woman in Sheffield. What are you calling the baby? I'm calling it Manor.
Manor F1. We're going to finish this one.
We're not going to finish this one. Come this way. Hang on a minute. Come this way a bit.
Oh,
and you're laughing. There you go. You're good.
Oh God.
And you're laughing. You're leaning
Very
over.
good.
Very good. So Manor F1 entered. Fucking hell.
F1 got shot. You're giving birth to outside of a club.
So Manor F1. Why did you choose to drink water at that point? Fuck's sake. So Manor F1 entered the world, dropping onto the pavement outside of Pop World.
Wetherspoons.
Fuck.
Water everywhere.
Fuck's sake. Right, okay, that was bad for continuity. Manor, we're going to fucking get through this if it kills me. Manor entered F1 in 2010 after having years. Oh, fuck's sake. Okay, right, 5 minutes. Manor entered F1 in 2010 after having years as a relatively successful junior team.
Yeah.
They entered the big leagues and got a call from Richard Branson.
The real one.
Richard Branson, not the Timu Malaysian Branson from Lotus F1. Richard Wanson. Richard Wanson. He's Japanese.
Richard Wanson-son.
With Branson on board, Manor F1 went through its first name change. Yeah. Virgin Racing. And no, that's not the Virgin Racing that is the modern day Mercedes.
Yes.
Because Kimi Antonelli is too young to actually have sex legally.
No, but he was born on the side street of a Sheffield.
and George Russell hasn't actually found his penis yet.
No.
So they are but they're Virgin Racing now.
Yes.
This is Virgin Racing pre-mode. Pre-rail mode.
But post.
With your hair back and forth. Fuck's sake. Anyway. Because Kimi Antonelli isn't legal anywhere outside of Kazakhstan, where the age is 9. Yeah. Actually, no, to be fair, it isn't. It's actually 16. Did you know that in Cuba...
I've just seen it.
Cuba, it's 12.
The age of consent is 12.
The age of consent is 12 in Cuba.
Christ.
13 in Argentina. I know.
Bloody hell.
And 13 in Japan until 2021, where it went to 16. Dirty bastards.
Fucking hell, yeah. No wonder they blur it out.
I'm amazed in the HRT teams. Sukon Yamamoto got everything done when everything's going on in Japan. They don't call him Sukon Yamamoto for anything.
Nakamoto, another son.
Oh, Christ. Marussia, as it would become to be known, was a Russian car manufacturer.
Did it race under the Russian flag?
It did. The team, eventually.
Imagine if they ran, they'd have the Russian national anthem, wouldn't they?
Yeah, that's a good point. Right. It'd be a bit scary, wouldn't it? In 2010, they finished last in the Constructors' Championship as Virgin Racing.
But they did start.
But they did start, under US Grand Prix. In November 2010, Marussia Motors purchased a controlling stake in the team, and the team became known as Marussia Virgin Racing for the 2011 season. Now, Marussia is interesting, as they are credited as the first proper Russian supercar manufacturer.
There, you got it there. Sorry, they did make the B1, didn't they?
They made the B1.
Quite a cool looking car.
I tried to play my typical game with this, which is see what bits came off other cars. Now that is a fucking ugly car.
It is, but you know what that is? That is the original. This is a very niche car now. The Aspark Owl.
What?
Do you know what that car that is?
No.
That is basically the predecessor. Is the successor of that.
So the Aspark Owl came
Owl is basically it's a future bankruptcy of an old person who basically made a supercar or hypercar. Right. He called it the Aspark Owl. It looks like that.
Is this after the B1?
It was post-moat.
No, was it made after? Was it based on that or something, or just looked?
No, it just looks very similar.
And it was it before the B1? Was it pre-moat?
No, it was post-Ronnie Pickering.
The two benchmarks of how we determine anything. Was it post-Pickering or pre-Rail Moat? We're going to fucking never get through this. Anyway, so
I'm glad you left the funniest one till last.
Oh, the Marussia. So the Marussia B1 had €120,000 price tag. For that, it's so ugly.
I think it's not too bad for a supercar.
With a Cosy V6.
That's it.
It's basically an XJ220. And that's the B2. Now that looks a lot better.
It's a Batmobile. That's a road legal Batmobile.
It would be. I actually.
Is that London?
Yeah.
That looks bitchin'.
I'd quite like one of those.
I'd quite like one of those. How much is one of those?
Look at that. I have no idea.
A lot,
Probably
I'm guessing.
Well, I don't even know how many. They're scheduled to make 3,999, and they may have made one. That might be the only one.
It's cool.
As far as I'm aware.
It's very cool.
So the car isn't the interesting bit. It's the company owner, Nikolai Fomenko, dealing with some excellent names here.
Yeah.
Apart from pretty much looking like every middle-aged Russian man with, like we said, the inexplicably hot wife.
Yeah.
He was a theatre actor in the Theatre of Youth Creativity in the 1970s, a vocalist and guitarist in the band Secret, who were very popular in Russia in the 80s, so he's done 70s, 80s. He was in 15 Russian films, hosted the Russian version of The Weakest Link, and hosted the Russian version of another popular British television show. Would you like to see that television show?
That is the natural kind of evolution of becoming the owner of a car. Russian Top Gear.
Russian Top Gear. Check it out. There's a smart car.
There's Russian Richard Hammond, Russian Jeremy Clarkson.
For some reason, they're using all the same graphics, all license.
Same stance.
Tonight, Audi R8. Land Rover L322 Range Rover and Mercedes. Audi Q7. You see, I mean, it looks... Oh, hello. Christ. What the fuck is this?
It's Russian.
Top queer.
The Russian... Oh,
But look, it's
studio. Look at this.
It's basically... Look at him. That's the man.
They've got jackets on. They've got shirts on.
Look, that's Nikolai Fomenko right there. That's tall Richard Hammond with the same necklace.
Yeah.
James May with a flowery shirt. They weren't fucking about
They weren't fucking about.
They were going, it works, do it again.
Yeah. He
do
looks
it now.
very Russian. They all look very Russian, actually. They all fight bears.
Don't they? Audi R8.
So this is how he got into cars.
Yep. No. He was already. Well,
into
possibly.
making cars.
I don't know. Possibly.
Oh, she is not above the age of consent.
No.
That's why.
So we've got Star in a reasonably priced ladder. Would you like to take a look at your lap? Would you like to take a look at your attempt? And it's just a starter motor going.
And a donkey running away.
It's impossibly slow. The lap. Do you want to see?
Yeah.
Do you want to see? I've always wanted to say this. So, would you like to see the lap?
Yes. Play the tape.
Let's play the tape.
What is that? She suits a helmet, to be fair.
No, she doesn't.
She does.
Look how slow she's going. She's shuffling the wheel. Look at how slow that is.
Test though. Look at the track. Look at the track. It's some boulders on a track.
They've just outlined it with rocks.
So the back of it is a Ford Fiesta. The front of it is like a Daihatsu sort of thing.
The back of it looks like a Mark III Fiesta.
Such a sad-looking car.
Terrible. They've just done it exactly the same, and I commend that. Anyway, that's enough of Russian Top Gear. Otherwise, sit here for 45 minutes just watching something we have no idea about.
What they're saying.
So that's Nikolai Fomenko. So he was the Russian Jeremy Clarkson. So Marussia, and it became Marussia in November 2011 for the 2012 season, revealed the MR01 at Silverstone by F1 veteran Pat Simmons.
Oh, right.
And the team was a bit cursed.
Shock.
On the 3rd of July 2012, test driver Maria de Villota was testing the car at Duxford Airfield when she crashed heavily into the lift gate of the team transporter, like the Luton van sort of thing, and sustained serious injuries. She had been performing straight-line aerodynamic tests in preparation for the British Grand Prix. It was confirmed that she had lost her right eye as a result of the accident, and a year later she died of her injuries.
Really?
In 2013, Marussia ran Max Chilton, brother of touring car legend Tom Chilton, and Ferrari Academy driver called Jules Bianchi.
You just said touring car legend like they used to do in Top Gear.
That's why I did
touring car legend Tom Chilton.
That's exactly why I did it. Over the course of the 2013 season, they had pretty good reliability. Finished 10th in the Constructors' Championship, ahead of Caterham, earning them significant additional revenue for 2014. English driver, touring car legend Max Chilton, became the first reverse rookie to ever finish every race in a season.
Wow.
Which is quite a feat, actually. In 2014, they ran cars with Ferrari engines, retaining touring car legend Max Chilton and touring car legend Jules Bianchi. That's not true. As drivers. At the Monaco Grand Prix, Bianchi scored his own and Marussia's first ever points by finishing 9th.
Was Bianchi the cousin of... or whatever?
No, so he was Charles Leclerc's godfather.
Oh, right, okay.
Then Marussia were actually getting to the point of becoming relatively stable as a team. And, of course, we come to the 2014 Japanese Grand Prix. It's difficult to find footage of the Jules Bianchi incident for obvious reasons, because they did retire.
I actually don't even think it's worth putting on.
Well, I don't know. But it isn't nice, and it was an almighty wallop.
Who puts a tractor on a track?
Well, I know. If you don't know, it was a very slippery track. In Japan, and the rain came down. I think it was relatively dry, and then the rain came down, which makes it really slippery. Yeah. And while the race was being run under yellow flags, the Japanese, in their infinite wisdom and wanting to be,
quick and efficient,
decided to drag a telehandler on there and start moving cars out the way. While these cars, if you do watch the footage, which I can't find, they are just sliding. Sliding, and another one, bang, and another one, bang. And the trouble is, Jules Bianchi's went into the wrong bit and hit the back, the weighty bit, obviously the counterbalanced or whatever. Hits that at eye level. I mean,
the rest is history.
Yeah. And obviously that is the start of the long road. And you think about it, it was a long road from 2014 to the Halo.
Yeah.
In what, 2018?
2018,
it's 4 years. It's quite a long time. And in Russia, they were going to run a second car with their test driver, but chose to only run Max Chilton's car, touring car legend, with a hashtag JB17 livery on it. Because he died, I think it was about a week or so later.
Oh, right.
By the US Grand Prix, the team were in pretty financially dire straits and couldn't even get to America.
Oh, right.
Same thing happened in Brazil. And in October, administrators were brought into the failing team to try and find a buyer. On the 5th of November, the FIA included the team in the provisional entry list under the name Manor F1. 2 days later, however, the administrator announced that the team had ceased trading and folded without further entry into F1, making 200 staff members redundant. And that is the rather torrid story of the Sheffieldians.
The partnership between the Russians and the Sheffieldians.
So that is kind of the story of the long F1 teams that
of the post Willow Smith and pre Raoul Moat era of F1.
Yeah, so we're dealing with F1 post Baby by Justin Bieber, pre Moat. I'm going to actually find out. I want to watch news coverage and just take myself back.
Find Gascoigne talking.
We're going to find Gazza talking about that. But the thing is, lots of teams become other teams.
Yeah.
And you go, lots of teams. We've got Brawn GP, that becomes Mercedes, that was Honda.
Yeah.
And you've got Force India, Jaguar becoming Red Bull. You've got Force India becoming Racing Point and Aston Martin. Yeah. All of these teams died and died.
Just shit.
And that was it. Just dead. They never moved facility. They never changed names, anything like that.
No.
They did change names. All they ever did was change names, and that was it. And they just died.
Have interesting owners and change your name.
And it is sad because these are people, these are teams, and they're people with, a keenness to be there, a good idea. Maybe they were money
would have been
laundering.
fun.
Maybe. Oh, I bet it
had
was
so much fun.
Yeah, they're building toasters in their spare time. What are you worried about? It was a little bit of money laundering by the Serbians and the Russians.
Yeah.
Why not?
Why not?
Just in between presenting Top Gear. Yes. The trouble is, the whole thing, despite their best intentions, was a political and financial move by Bernie because he had his watch negged.
Yeah.
All of that.
Good advertising.
All of
Could have
that.
just left it at the advert.
He could have just left it at that, but he goes, no, I've got to recoup my costs.
Yes.
So I'm going to allow a load of teams just to all of this was just to piss off Ferrari and all of the teams. How dare you step out of line? I'm going to ruin the lives of 4 sets of teams. 4 teams are going to have their lives ruined because you stepped out of line, Ferrari. And actually, when you think about it, they're actually responsible for Jules Bianchi's death, technically.
Sort of. What a nice way to end the episode.
What a lovely way to end the episode. As a result of that, let us know what you think about the idea of bringing in 4 teams. Do you think any of these could have survived if they weren't being run by, liars, cheats, pyramid
Dictators.
schemes, Ponzi scheme people, dictators, Russians, people
weird
from Sheffield.
partnerships between cultures that you would never put them together.
The Malaysians, the Norfolkians. Are they Norfolkians? Probably.
They're just inbred.
Malaysians and the Norfolkians. Well, how did we think it was going to end?
Yeah.
In 2010 to 2014, it was all a massive waste of time for a quarter of the grid.
Yes,
basically.
literally.
But
they would have had fun.
Pissing in the wind. Do you think having in administrators is that fun? I don't think it is that fun.
It isn't at the end.
Well, no. But at the time,
premiers.
I suppose for about 2 weeks, there's the impending sense of, we might do something here. Well, this might go really well
exactly.
with our 40 million quid and Ferrari spending 100 mil on coffee.
Yes, exactly.
It doesn't really make a huge amount of difference. So thanks, Bernie, for ruining everyone's lives. But then again, please come back. Please, we're begging you. Please come back. And with that, thank you for watching the OffGrid podcast. Make sure you subscribe to the Patreon if you've made it this far. Give us some support. Give us some love. Hype the video. Like the video. Ejaculate on you. Make love to the video. Ejaculate on your keyboard. Whatever you fancy. Thank you very much for watching and fuck off.
Goodbye.
Right, here we go.
I wish you never made that joke.
This is going to be a nightmare to cut into something coherent.